Greetings, I'm joining tonight's broadcast. Brought to you by some kind of dimension, 20th dimension, millionth dimension. So this is UFO disclosure again, fake alien invasion. I haven't beaten that to death enough, so what the hell, right? I'm gonna do an insectoid point of view of that. Sure, why not? See how we have parasites running our government. Not to name names. One's a Speaker of the House, so that's not a parasitic being. That's a parasitic being. I know my parasites, and that's a parasitic being. That's Speaker of the House. There we go. No doubt about it. Well, you didn't name names. Look at that. Try not to name names. So we got parasites running our government, and we have lame duck government. They're going to do their or lame duck. Was it something in chief, whatever he is going to be in front of Congress tomorrow. So that should be. I don't know if they're going to tape that, pre-tape it or something, because he's probably going to fall asleep like first word in. So that's going to be funny. So if it's supposed to be like a regular State of the Union, that's going to be completely hilarious. So yeah, he's just going to stop mid-sentence, big like he's in Care Bear land or something like that. Probably fall asleep. It's gonna be pretty funny. So also Fort Bragg. I didn't put that in the title, just in case Fort Bragg gets, anything can happen there. I don't know if they ever had incidents there, but that's like the largest military installation on the planet. Apparently, it's in North Carolina. So Army Special Operations is there. And of course, they're doing secret wars and things like that. No surprise there. So we'll see where we get on that one. Probably got their fake aliens. Everybody's dressed up in little costumes and stuff like that. That'd be freaking hilarious if they're doing that. We got our lame duck government and our lame duck alien invasion. So yeah, that should all work together. And Sagittarius Constellation. So end it on a high note. So yeah, it's kind of like a low note through all this. Well, the insectoids should be good. So yeah. All right, let's see what we got here. A little bit of an update. Behind as hell as usual. ZionTalk.com, we have prior sessions. One shop here. Actually, I'm on the 12th. I should be catching up on Thursday. Yeah, I'm right behind here. Same situation here. We have the what is this? Webinar sign up. Social network, the Rabbit, and all this awesomeness behind the scenes, and the dating site. It's it's in its infancy, so it takes time. And not done yet here. Wikipedia is your savior. Okay, so it's Fort Bragg. Obviously, you can't see it. That looks pretty small for the biggest installation, but it has special forces there. Yeah. I imagine it's nice and cuddly and very welcoming there. I imagine. Illuminati. Wars basically. Here's the special operations situation. I didn't look through it, but I didn't really read. We can feel the vibrations of basically secret wars. And we have Sagittarius. Guess we could use that as a thumbnail. All right. Thanks for joining us for tonight's insanity. Waiting for our fake alien invasion by our lame duck government. Parasitic ran government. Parasites are running it. Just look at Speaker of the House, and I have to throw that out there. I'm on a parasite binge apparently. One day it's going to be exposed. Who knows when that day is going to be? If you remove the whole parasite thing, just put psychopath there. I mean, that might people might be able to understand that part, but or maybe not. That's too bad. So that's why the world is the way it is, and the spirit world, as wonderful as some people might want to think it is, if it's so wonderful, why is this place so messed up? So they got problems too. It's not just us. We're not the only ones with problems. They got problems also. So it's just not. It's not just us. I mean, we're not perfect, but come on, they got me more. I think they're more messed up than we are. To be honest with you. So that's something to be proud of. So, jeez, that's something. That's great. Are they that messed up? Yeah, probably. I think so. I don't know if anybody's minding the shop up there or in the spirit realm. I don't think they know what they're doing, to be honest with you. I don't know. I don't think they ever knew, actually. It's that bad. But some don't want to look at it that way. They're big on the queen. They're big on control. They're not ready to take responsibility for themselves, so they need somebody to tell them what to do. So that's what the crown's there for. Or our anyway, we're moving on from that. Okay, we're going to the fake alien invasion energies and Black Ops energy. I'm feeling too. Not too bad. Maybe they'll start revealing some of their shit. I mean, I think they have to reveal themselves eventually. Something, you know. I don't know. It's hard to say, but I think they have to start opening themselves up. You know, the shadow government. You know, I mean, how long can they continue this? So, well, I guess we'll find out. All right, blessings. Here we go. All right, just gonna leave it open and do it. Insectoid connections, but I feel other beings here, so get different perspectives. So, all right, blessings. Greetings, you. We are the Mantis. Yes, we are from the higher dimensions. Yes, of course, there's many of our beings here. We're not too much in the alien disclosure energy, but yes, there's many of us here. Most of humanity chooses not to see us, to be around us. As more of humanity, we were more part of conversation. More likely, we're start to step into your energy. Yes, if more of the metaphysical knowledge, spiritual knowledge comes through, that's where our energy field becomes stronger with humanity. And even if those aren't really ready for this, many of you you're warning this now. You're becoming at a certain vibration where alien beings can start to show themselves eventually. Of course, it can happen at any time, but I believe many of your alien beings are holding back at this time. They want to see what your system, your world is about to do first. So we do see interactions possibly in your summertime of basically a government getting bored with itself and wanting to have some action. Now, we're just putting this out there. We're not saying it's going to happen, but we feel like, yes, your government does get bored. It's like a grown child, basically. Well, they have to start things up because they make them like that you need them. You know, oh, look, this happened. You need us. And that's why they're always trying to intrude in humanity in human lives. They're showing how they have relevance. But once people say we don't need you anymore, then that's like what? But don't you need us? So they're very needy, really, when it comes to that. But humanity is very needy too, some to a certain extent, and that has become coming from adolescent energies. Those that just don't want to take responsibility for themselves. They don't know how to. They don't know that there's a way of doing it. The way they're taught, it's part of culture now, isn't it? Culture plays a big role. Yes, there's manipulation there, but you can also counter that. But it's not the easiest thing to counter, as you can see. You're doing that at this time, but getting the word out there, because you can put the word out there, but I believe mass majority are going to push it down. It's just because they don't want to grow up. They don't want to shift the vibrations, and they can still have their, nonsense conversations, which is fine. Talk about nothing all day, but also allow more clarity. Basically, the lock on your planet to be unlocked, so you connect more to yourselves and be free. But humanity decides to just because they accept this reality, they accept the chains around themselves. Basically, the jobs that basically the everyday job, the 9 to 5 job, is pretty much the modern day prison. It's not just the monetary system, but it is mostly the job. If you feel more free to go to your job, you can come and go as you want. It's not so much a present because you want to be there. But if you don't want to be there, as most don't, as a prison environment, I don't have to tell you that, but we're just putting it out there. But yeah, if you're wondering what your prison system comes from or what it looks like, it's basically the 9 to 5 environment. So yes, there will be starseed beings coming here, obviously pushing that away. It's going to be a lot of unlocking this planet will have to do. Basically, yes, it's going to be a revamp of the planet altogether. You're actually doing with your police system, you see how slow that's going. So it's very slow, but you are putting the seeds of awakening here. Obviously, many will feel like the seeds of deception because you're taking them out of their comfort zone and taking them out of their prison system. Yeah, as for alien disclosure, all the thing we're seeing is around the summertime. Something around August, maybe before that, but around August, of some kind of human intervention, alien, whatever it might be. It's a planned event, whatever it might be. What I would say is, yes, we're not having 100% on this, but we're feeling the August energies. Once again, that can shift at any time. And once again, it's a board government that wants to show its relevance, and they have the next agenda on the way. As Mantis beings, obviously there's many here, part of DNA, basically learning from your society how it evolves. Of course, your world evolves very slow, but even that's quite fascinating to see a society go backwards. Very much of it is. They call it trendy, but it's actually going backwards. Call it pop culture. Pop culture can actually help you descend instead of ascend. Some of it can help you to ascend. It all depends on what it is. Of course, the music energies on your planet are interfering. The current vibes, of course. And yes, also the soil here. Obviously, many already know this. The soil here is not entirely poisoned, but quite a few of course. So the mantis rule. You might see our vibrations possibly around. We are, yes, keeping your bees alive on your planet. And yes, we do live pretty simplistic lives, but we can see a great deal. We can move among the dimensions. We can have a ship. Some decide to have a ship, but we don't necessarily need it. We can just basically shift realities very quickly. And there's usually a mantis, not on all planets, but quite a few. Yes, we were very much part of the human development in our early years, and we still are. Well, we're there to also cure diseases. Of course, your planet is very good at creating diseases. And that's the other thing about human consciousness is the victim mentality here that's very strong, or the health victim mentality that's going on. Some are very justified, and others just out of fear. And yes, some souls feel very neglected by their family, so they gain weight and then they can't walk, they can't move around because they want to see if anybody cares about them anymore. Yeah, I kind of a self pity, but also to see if anyone reliant on their vibration. Blessings to you on your aura, on your field, on your energy fields. Blessings to your inner creation. We are government, we are shadow government energies of your elite. We are not the special operations, we are the shadow government vibrations. Our why we exist at all is greed, but not necessarily in the financial greed, but just greed of power. influence onto others, to be able to control societies, control the mind. There's nothing, money cannot take you to a level of controlling a society. Controlling society is like God. That's why your news networks do it all the time, because they feel like they're God, because they can influence someone. They are playing God. Obviously, they're going to get a lot of karma for that, and a lot of your elites are getting a great deal of karma. That's why they have illnesses within themselves. So you're going into a new atmosphere of worrying about your elites eventually. But yeah, as I understand the God power here, beings that, I mean, you already, most of you have met somebody with a God complex, but that doesn't always mean they can. I mean, some of them have been, yes, a godlike in their past, where they can control others. So you wonder what the real wealth is. Not cryptocurrency, it's not money, it's controlling how people think. And it's a drug. It's like it's getting people to go left and then right and so forth. I think I did that wrong, but I think you understand. It's to get them to go this way, that way, put on this, put on that. I think you have the idea. And you see that, those in your so-called government, it's more like your public government's more like a fake government. It's basically teenagers running the show. At least they say they are. It's just a big show. Until you're ready to see what's really going on here, which many aren't, but some of you are. Yes, the elites that are running this whole system obviously feel your vibrations. Aren't you happy with it? That's why some of you get mental attacks and things like that. So it doesn't mean they're losing their power. Some might. Some get guilt. Some of you bring a lot of guilt into the elite. At least those that have metaphysical powers. Normally, they don't feel guilty. They don't care. But when you're going against their system, and some of you possibly might be even psychic attacking some of these beings, possibly. Some are. Some just get sick of it. So we don't say like a reveal or your fake alien invasion. Of course, fake alien invasion is once again a way to control the mind, especially with panic, and then they come in as the savior, which is very true. Like I said, when you're dealing with beings like God complex, it's very hard to heal something like that. It's like a drug beyond. There's nothing like it. You can't just go on the street and buy it. It's there, and you're going to take advantage of it until you die. And yes, they are energy vampires too. That's why some people feel like they're tired or worn out, and because the elites are pulling that vibration to themselves. Of course, a lot of them are dying and falling apart, and externally, mentally. They're not doing themselves any favors either. So as you tap in those vibrations, and they are afraid, they don't want to be seen and caught. I mean, they might put on the pride, but along the run, they are afraid. They're scared. That's why they do the things that they do. So we feel like some of you will make an elitist connection to heal that energy. Yes, they're very arrogant, but as you show that you're not afraid of them, they don't like that. Because most of the population laugh it off and look the other way, because most of them are scared of it. Just the thought of just diving deep into something like that is terrifying. It's like going into a cave, you don't know where it's going to go. But if you're trusting yourself, you should be fine. So it's not for everybody, of course. Greetings to you. We are the consciousness of Army Special Operations. There is a Russian threat, but not the one that you might think. It's like an artificial threat that has to be created to justify the existence of your army altogether. So it's mostly minor wars at this time, and yes, much of your army is involved with the Taliban, meaning influencing it, meaning creating it. So And of course, that goes into other government agencies. Yes, to create the threat. Obviously, they're not going to be selling that to anyone publicly, but yes, it's kind of like Monopoly, or well, it's kind of like that. It's Monopoly, but it's other games, but we don't know the names of them. But it is, yeah, it's just to get your attention, to mess with people's minds. Now, how many are willing to see the truth of this? It's very, yes, you can say evil. It's once again controlling society. It's a weakness within consciousness. Yes, it is a lot of weak beings that need all this military hardware to hide their insecurities. Well, the ones that are running it, not necessarily the army. They're just, they need a job, they need a purpose, they need to grow, they need to figure themselves out. But the ones running the show, the true elites that are running it, are terrified of everything. They're very paranoid, actually, when it gets down to it. Yes, when you create all of these things, your terrorist group, they actually create them. Obviously, they're going to, you know, censor anything like that, but it's true. It's not just one, it's all governments are involved in some form. Not all. Iran's not involved. Wonder why they're having the trouble that they are having. Yeah, if you don't want to be a part of this, you are now the enemy. Obviously goes deeper than that, but I mean, some of this, some of you have already known, but obviously, but as you connect more to the metaphysical, spiritual connections of this, you will be able to help release those timelines. Greetings to you. I am Sagittarius, constellation, the constellation of Sagittarius energies. We are about human improvement or soul improvement, but human improvement, to improve the human. Not that the human is the biggest flaw in the universe, it is one that is the explorer of this universe, of this galaxy, of also the universe. It's still the human is also an enigma. We might not see that here, but it's still a very different type of being compared to other species. It can get very, because you're connected to so many different beings, you can be very insectoid like, you can be very feline like or canine like in your own way. And some beings can do this, yes, but you can have also, of course, other beings can have to a certain degree, yes. But the human can be really developed, weaponized in a good way and in a bad way. And that's what you're seeing. A lot of humans here are weaponized, as they call it, a dangerous planet. I believe many of you are here to heal that weaponization. It's basically built on fear, society built on the unknown. There's a lot of alien beings that came here that lost themselves, that lost their vibration here and became very dark. It's not just reptilian beings. It's some insectoids, but they don't mention who they are. But some actually control society. Some of it was in South America. Some of it was in Egypt. Some are very powerful because they lost their vibration because they couldn't handle this planet's low vibrational senses. So they became obsessed over controlling others. And that does eventually go into your government energy. You can say some of that comes from Orion. It comes from different places. So Sagittarius is kind of like a warrior. Not really. It's a warrior war, but without the war. More like the healing factors of it. Yes, we do have planets that are similar to Mars. Not necessarily to your planet, but similar to Martian planets. But we are here basically to heal the soul, here to heal the higher chakras. Yes, for you to go further into yourselves. It's basically healing the third dimension on many different levels. Of course, the human here is kind of like a paradox being where it gets lost very easily. You're just bringing different energies from different solar systems. Sagittarius energies, we have a lot of love planets where you can just love affairs, higher dimensional energies, music worlds where all you're doing is music. We do have felines. We also have porpoises, type of thing, type of animals. So it's up to you how you connect to our energies. Some that are a Sagittarius sign might feel themselves transform. And yes, there's a lot of, because there's a lot of shape shifting energies in our environment. We're basically allowing you to be yourself, for your true self to be out there. Your world obviously hides a lot of that. We also have a lot of fairy realities and insect realities, similar to all constellations have pretty much similarities, but in their own way. They have a different way of doing it. Every place has a different way of doing things. And your planet is basically, our energy is connected to your planet is basically to heal it. Yes, so many of our beings are here because of war, because you kind of need, I mean, if there's a war here, you need to send your troops here to assist. And some do get pulled into it, some have negative, some have positive. It's all a little bit different. Or you can say that positive, negative don't matter. However you want to look at it, positive, negative still exists, and if you don't want to see it that way, no matter how you look at it, they both still exist. You can look at it as a teacher energy, you can look at it any way you want. But basically, you're here to heal your higher self energies. This alien invasion energy, yes, this is hijacking, government hijacking. Government here has been poisoned for such a long time. Throughout the centuries, this is nothing. It just, eventually they have to either do an agenda or go away. It's like some governments have to do darkness or not exist anymore or lose their power. So at least their darkness and become plain like other countries have. Oh, they're just there managing sewers and things like that and little laws here and there, no big deal. So others want to, governments like the United States has a big ego and has a lot to heal. Has a lot of internal healings, and society has given their power to it and here to empower humanity, which is not the easiest thing to do. So many have lost themselves here due to war, due to manipulation of not even trusting their government, due to what happened to the Native Americans. There's a lot of blood here still, of course. A lot of the Atlantean energies, a lot of what happened in America, a lot of the Atlanteans did the same thing. Because they had very positive lands in Atlantis, and the Dark Atlanteans wiped them out, wiped their own people out. So it's very similar. A lot of American energy is very similar to what happened to Atlantis. Not exactly, but there's a lot of higher vibrational government creations, or you want to call it that, but it's just higher dimensional knowledge that came in. And you have that with the United States and its founding. So this is, you can say it's already been set in stone how things are, at least for the most part, not entirely. So we feel like you are, yes, going into a new healing age. Your disclosure energies, not likely to happen soon. If there's a government psyop going on, they're not saying anything to us. Some summer, winter, they have agendas. They feel like they're losing power. They feel like people are losing respect for them, so they are kind of losing their relevance. So they're going to act like a spoiled child and just do everything they can to get your attention. But their relevance is dissipating. Isn't that kind of what you want? Or that is what you want. It has to happen slow, though, because it has so many roots into human society and economy. Of course, they created a lot of these problems with the economy, of course. We just feel, yes, your alien disclosure energies, as many of you go into more of a higher dimension, that'll be throughout this year, next year. Every year gets stronger among many of you. Now, how you go about it is up to you, of course. But as for how you're going to heal your earth, well, some of you are attracting people to you to heal their energies. And that you might attract lower dimensional people or vibrational, but they're there for a reason. To test you, but also to be healed. Of course, many don't want to be healed, but they're going to hang around you anyway. It's like a fly around a light. They keep coming to you, but they don't know why.